My name is David Hyatt, and it's my privilege and great pleasure on behalf of Union EMS to welcome you here tonight. We're delighted to have you with us and share in this special occasion. I'd like to take a moment to recognize a few individuals that were key to the success of this event: Shannon Terrell, Kim Rowland, and Kathy Bose. These three ladies planned and executed every detail to bring this event to life, from contacting survivors to choosing the hors d'oeuvres you're enjoying tonight. This trio made it happen. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Atrium Health for providing us with this amazing space to host this event. Your continued support is greatly appreciated. And lastly, I'd like to give a special thanks to our survivors. You are the reason we are all here tonight. Before I turn it over to Mandy to open us up in prayer, I would like to cover a few housekeeping rules. The bathrooms are going to be through the double doors, down to your right and on your right. In case of a fire, well, there's firefighters here, follow one of them to the orange illuminated exits. And if you're on fire, stop, drop, and roll. And a special mention to our telecommunicators. Happy Telecommunicators Week. Thank you for all that you do each and every day. And Randy, please open us in prayer.
Would you all join me in prayer, please? God, you are the author and giver of life. We thank you for the time that you've given us tonight to come together at this Heart and Hands event to honor and reflect on the amazing work these men and women have done. They literally brought people back from the dead, out in the fields, under circumstances that sometimes were far less than ideal. Through the use of their hands, they were able to provide additional help, hope, and healing to the survivors and also to their families and friends. Through the use of their hands, these survivors have been given more time to make additional memories, to say things to their family members and friends that need to be said, and to appreciate the gift of each new day. What an amazing gift. You created a desire in the hearts of those gathered here tonight to be first responders and to enter into these situations that are largely unknown. We ask that you continue to give them calmness in the chaos, help them remain alert and ready, and we ask that you give them your peace, knowing that they did everything they could possibly do to restore life. Allow them to enjoy this time tonight as they reflect on those people whose hearts continue to beat through the work of their hands. It is in your holy name that we pray. Amen.
I'm honored to introduce our guest speaker tonight, Denise White. Denise is a graduate of the University of Alabama with her degree in nursing. She has been a nurse for over 40 years and served in several roles throughout her 35-year tenure with Atrium Health. Most notably, Denise serves as the facility executive, chief nursing executive for Atrium Union and the chief nursing executive for Union West and Anson. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Miss Denise White.
Good evening, everybody. How are y'all doing tonight? Great? Yeah, wonderful. Good to hear. Like everybody else in this room, we have a lot going on in our lives, and I'll be completely transparent and honest with you. When David asked me if I would kind of speak at this event, in Denise's opinion, that meant doing the welcome. And then when I reached out to him this morning and just said, I need to make sure I'm good welcome, blah, 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 and he said, you're the guest speaker. And I said, oh, really? He said, yeah, you're the guest speaker. And so like any good guest speaker would do, you go out and you try to see if you can find something somebody else has done, to use that as your speech, and you then try to work through that. But I just want to say that one of the things that we are incredibly blessed with around here is we have a chaplain who you just heard do our devotion and our invocation. And Mandy has spent the last several years with us, helping us through a lot of the dark times. She does what we call a motivational moment every month at our leader meeting. So I was thinking about how Mandy has always helped us with our motivational moments and helped us kind of remember and connect us back to purpose of the work we do. So I started looking at some of the things Mandy had done for us, and I was like, I remember one that she did that was incredibly impactful. So I took some of the things that Mandy shared with us and kind of changed it up a little bit to share with you tonight, because I think this night is so important for everybody, and I want you to remember how important you are and what your role is. We're here to celebrate survivors, which I think is pretty incredible, but I also want us to kind of think back about how we got to this point. So when you're thinking back, who would have ever thought the difference between 2020 and 2023? How many of us were here in February of 2020 for our Hearts and Hands celebration? Several of us were. We were in this room. We had a great event. We had a lot of people here. We celebrated. And then what happened in March? Everything in our life kind of turned upside down, right? Everything changed. Basically, the pandemic hit, and it was really a life-changing experience for all of us. And when I thought back about that time we've been through for the past 3 years, I saw this quote, and it really spoke to me. And it says, "So much of who we are is where we have been." And if you think about that, the past 3 years, I would probably say that everybody in this room, whether you're a healthcare professional, regardless of what your role is, we're different than where we were 3 years ago, because so many things have changed. So as I reflected on that, I wanted to think about, over the past years, as we have been in some really dark places, filled with a lot of uncertainty, we as healthcare professionals and everybody in this room have been asked to do a lot of things differently, right? We've been asked to wear PPE continuously. We've been asked to change protocols very fast and rapidly. We were asked to social distance. We also saw changes in our patients' perception of healthcare. We faced a lot of scared patients during that time. We also faced a lot of controversy with the political controversy surrounding the coronavirus, regardless of what position you stand on. We were kind of in the middle of all that as healthcare providers. And I probably have never seen as much daily disruption in our workflow as we saw during the pandemic. It was probably, if you were in any kind of role in the healthcare field, did you feel like you came to work every day and you're kind of drinking out of a fire hose with all the changes and all the things, and we're doing this way today, and we're going to do this, and this is how we're going to do it this afternoon. It was a very scary time for all of us. And we didn't have a lot of time to adjust to everything that was going on. But one of the things that I saw from this group in here and everybody that's represented here, that you just kind of ran straight into the uncertainty of COVID. You just kind of ran straight in. You didn't even think about it. You just said, here I go, I'm going, right? Because that was our job and it was what we're supposed to do. You never said, well, that's not my job. I can't do that. You just ran straight in. And we're here tonight to celebrate the lives you have saved. That's pretty powerful when you think about that and what we've done and the uncertainty that we've been facing. And I will tell you that all of the things we did and everything that you did during the pandemic in the past 3 years really didn't just happen randomly. They happened because of your passion and commitment for our community and our patients. That's how we got through it. And I see first responders, EMT, paramedics, law enforcement, fire, CCOM, everybody in this room represented. I kind of see you as a lighthouse, somebody that was out there providing kind of hope and comfort to our community during some of the darkest times we've ever faced. And I think that's what I want you to remember and think about where we are today. And why do I call you a lighthouse? Because there's a lot of things that we can learn from lighthouses. And I just want to kind of share a little bit with you about a lighthouse and what it means. When you think about a lighthouse is a tower. a building, or another type of structure designed to emit light from a system of lamps and lenses to serve as a navigational aid to pilots at sea or on inland waterways. Lighthouses mark dangerous coastlines, hazardous shoals, reefs, rocks, and safe entries to harbors. They also assist in navigation. A lighthouse is a beacon to guide the mariner home. It does this by emitting signals that tells them a couple of things. And what a lighthouse will tell you is kind of stay away, danger, beware, go this way, go that way. This is what we get from that light of a lighthouse along the way. It also tells the mariner exactly where they are. And a lighthouse also has constancy. It doesn't move. It stays there and guides the way all the time. It's a solid structure that's stable, but it also radiates light. Regardless if it's a sunny day or if it's a category 4 hurricane. That lighthouse is there, right? That's what it's for. So when I think about a lighthouse, I also think about fog. And how many of you would say this was kind of our view during the pandemic? Kind of foggy? Yeah, we really had, you've been in a car at night, right, trying to drive in the fog. How does that feel? This is where you say something. Stressful, right? Tense, white knuckles, all those things because you don't really know where you're going. And I think when we think about the pandemic, that's what we were in, a lot of fog. Also, if you think about a ship out in the ocean in this same fog, think about how disorienting that can be and how hard that could be if it wasn't for that lighthouse guiding them along the way, right? So if you think about that, it's not only the light from the lighthouse, but it's the sound from the lighthouse that guides the ship through the storm. So when I think about that, and I think about you as paramedics, EMTs, first responders, fire, rescue, law enforcement, CCOM, our telecommunicators, you were that lighthouse for many during that storm. Your presence in our community was that cannon and that light that provided comfort to our citizens. You were just a phone call away for our community in some of their most uncertain times. When they had limited access to family, primary care, church community, friends, and everything that they had typically depended on when they needed help, you were that one constant that they had. You were always there for them, acting as beacons in the sea of darkness. Even when you were surrounded with that thick, dense fog and you were not really sure of the outcomes, you never hesitated to respond to their needs. Your impact on every life you touched is truly immeasurable. This statement right here, when I read this, when Mandy shared this with me, it so describes what we went through for 3 years during the pandemic. There are times when the ocean is not the ocean, not blue, not even water, but some violent explosion of energy and danger. Ferocity on a scale only gods can summon. It hurls itself on the island, sending spray over the top of the lighthouse, biting pieces off the cliff. And the sound is the roaring of a beast whose anger knows no limits. Those are the nights the light is needed the most. And when I think about the pandemic and when I think about what we've lived through, this clearly describes what we lived through, and you were definitely that light that we needed in that storm. I would say that from my perspective, you have shined in the darkest moments. Your calling to serve others, both in calm seas and rough, did not go unnoticed. You have withstood the forces of the storm and projected an unbending strength. Because of that, you provided compassion, calmness, and clarity to every patient and family that you encountered. And I want you to think about that. Think about that patient that you responded to, that you sent responders to, the places that you went into. They were living something that they had never lived before either, right? And many of them were terrified. They were also terrified of you, right? Because they had not let anybody else in their home during that time. And you were seen as a scary person coming in their house. So you had to calm their storm. You had to calm them as you entered their home. You did that with so much compassion and calmness that many of these patients would have never made it to us or wherever they were going for their care if it hadn't been for you, the first person to make that contact. Because they were facing some of the most uncertain times they had ever faced in their lives. And they could have easily stayed at home and not called and not done anything. But you were there for them. You made the difference for them. And I don't want you to ever forget that. Because we know that lighthouses are without value unless they are built to withstand the most severe of storms. This is true of all of you, and the past 3 years has certainly proven that. You have led our community through many significant changes, and you've kept us all safe in the process. I'm going to be completely honest with you, and just I know y'all probably said this because I said it a lot during 3 years because I'm old. I've been a nurse for 41 years, and I've seen a lot. But there were many days that I got up and I was like, why am I doing this? And it's okay to admit it. You probably thought the same thing. You probably got up some days and thought, what in the world am I doing this for, right? Why am I risking my life? Why am I risking my safety? What am I doing all this for? Because it was so scary. You just didn't know what was going to happen. You didn't know. We didn't know. But I'm so grateful that you stayed the course. And I think this is why you did it. This is another quote that I love. When you feel like quitting, think about why you started. And I think one of the key things is that each one of you started in the role you're in because it's a calling. We know it's not about the money, right? Healthcare is usually not about the money. Law enforcement, fire, all that is not what drives us to do what we do. We drive it because we're called to that. We're called to help people. We're called to make a difference. And I'm so grateful that every one of you, during those darkest of days, continue to remember why you started. That you kept in your mind that I'm here because this is my calling. This is what I'm meant to do. This is the place I need to be. This is for my community. It's for every citizen. It's for everybody that I serve. And regardless of what we're facing, I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to ride this horrible storm out. And you did. Here we sit today without masks on. How wonderful is that? I mean, we're not wearing masks anymore. We're able to kind of have a little bit of normalcy. But I know there's days that you didn't think we were going to make it because I'm going to be honest with you. I was kind of in charge of things. And there was many days this team working with me knew that I was like, are we going to make it through today? Because there was so much uncertainty. But you stayed the course. You stayed there. And because of that, I want you to never underestimate the power you have to make a difference in someone's life. And that's why we're here tonight. You have made a difference, and I'm forever grateful. And it's really an honor and privilege to celebrate with you tonight. What you're doing tonight and what we're celebrating tonight is truly amazing. We are celebrating lives you saved. How many people can say that? How many people in this world can say, I played a role in saving a life today? There's not a lot of people that can. So that's pretty powerful. So I want you to remember that. Never underestimate the power that you have because you save lives. Regardless of your role in this whole process, regardless of what you do, you save lives. That's the bottom line. And that's a pretty powerful bottom line when you think about it, that you save lives. And I can't thank you enough for what you've done, what you continue to do every day. And I just want to say, I thank you for being that beacon of hope, that light that shines through the darkest of days for our community and for our citizens. I'm grateful. Our community's grateful. And I can't thank you enough for what you do. So let's celebrate tonight what you have created, which is the ability to save lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. This list is certainly the reason why we're here tonight, and I appreciate those words. We'll be recognizing each of the survivors first. And if any of those, I know some have said that they would like to say something. I'd like to give them an opportunity to get up and speak if they'd like. No pressure on any of them to do that, but I want to give them that opportunity when they come up here. After we recognize the survivor, we'll be going through the names of the EMS crews that were involved in that save. Some of those will be receiving pins that will reflect the number of saves that they have had. If they are up multiple times tonight with multiple saves, they may not receive another, or they won't receive another pin. They have that pin represents all the saves up until this point. We'll also be recognizing the folks from CCOM. Those that are involved in their first save will also receive a pin. Those that have been involved in multiple saves will receive a certificate. And then we'll be recognizing our partners with fire and law enforcement, and they have received their certificates in their packets. Just so you know that no one's being shortchanged. We want to make sure that we recognize everyone who is involved in any of these saves. Each and every one of you is very important. All right. Our first one for this evening is Corbin Parker. And the crew from EMS that was involved in that is Caitlin Sheldon, should be receiving a pin, and David Poplowski. From CCOM, receiving a certificate is Melissa Baldwin. Her first pin, Greta Green. And receiving a certificate is Mandy Lawson. I'm sorry. Yeah, when the survivors here, we'd like to get a photo over there, by the way. So when those of you who come forward, if you'd step over to the photo area. Yeah, David Poplowski. As always, just in time, sir. And representing Monroe Fire, Johnny Blythe. And also from Battalion 1, Ben Hinson, Joseph Upchurch, Jeremy Smith, Blair Stegall, Brandon Miles, and Dane Love. Representing Monroe Police was Matthew Moore, Reagan Broom, Andreas Posakis, I apologize, William Bolin, Jonathan McLean, and Gary Vesey. Thank you to all those that helped Corbin Parker. Okay. All those who came forward, if you could come over here for a photo.
Y'all just stay up there when it's photo time, like for each survivor. Just go to that section there. Sorry.
Better smile, Johnny.
All right, our next survivor that we would like to recognize is Eric Sharon. And Eric, if you would stay up here, we'd like to get a picture with you and the crew that helped you. From EMS, Meredith Baker. Be receiving a pin Marina Schwartz, supervisor. Okay. From CCOM, receiving a certificate, Melissa Baldwin. Sarah Cashman. And Aaron Oates. And Aaron's receiving the pin. From Beaver Lane Fire, we have Rick Coffin, Kevin Quick, Scotty Parker, and Kyle Parker. And with the Marshville Police Department, Jamie Bennett. And representing the Union County Sheriff's Office, Dwayne Fitchett, Jory Knight, Jacob Edwards, and Brandy Osborne. Thank you all. Our next survivor is Tommy Streeter. The EMS crew was Hope Lipka and Daniel Henn. Our next survivor, Matthew Santamaria. And from EMS, receiving a pin is Christo Fitzpatrick. And supervisor is Tiffany Starr. From CCOM, receiving a pin is Jennifer Brantley. And certificates, Melissa Baldwin and Aaron Oates. Representing Waxhaw Fire Department, Tanner Sulkey, Thomas Staley, Hans Peck, Pete Scrobot, and Jacob Rodriguez. And from the Waxhaw Police Department, Christine Hilton, Matthew Watkins, and Jeffrey Maynard. Sometimes it takes a crew. Our next survivor, Alexander Makava, receiving a pin from EMS, Brian Honeycutt and Jake Tobin. Supervisor was Heather Owens. From CCOM, receiving a pin, Kimberly Porter. Another pin for Kayla Jacobs. And a certificate for Whitney Bollock. Representing the Hemby Bridge Fire Department, Jeff Dixon, Tommy Amon, Maggie McBride, and Jonathan Wantz. Union County Sheriff's Office, Jerry Austin, Bobby Gallimore, and Elizabeth Russell. Our next survivor is Daniel Tucker. The EMS crew consisted of Scott Creighton and Tiffany Joplin. Supervisor was Andrew Benton. Receiving a pin for CCOM, Sarah Bales. Carol Gower. And Michael Gadare, receiving a certificate. With the Henby Bridge Fire Department, Al Baker, Will Seaman, Chris Yates, and Tyler Culp, and Wesley Chapel, Henry Blowers, Troy Doff, Christopher McGurk, and Sanford Vining. From the Stallings Police Department, Dale Larson, Patrick Ash, and Jonathan Bynum. Our next survivor is Jason Watts. The EMS crew consists of Terry Everhart and Taylor Rain. Supervisor was Marina Schwartz. And Fleet Supervisor Marcus Lee. From CCOM, receiving a certificate, Jennifer Brantley, Greta Green, and a pin for Randy Starnes. And representing the Union County Sheriff's Office, Aaron Wilkerson. Our next survivor is Charles Presson. The EMS crew, Christo Fitzpatrick, and Supervisor Heather Owens. And Fleet Coordinator Marcus Lee. From CCOM, receiving certificates, Michael Gadare, Greta Seacrest, and Kayla Jacobs. From Monroe Fire, Johnny Blythe, Adam Spear, Joseph Upchurch, Jeremy Smith, Blair Stegall, Brandon Miles, Robert Stovall, and Dane Love. And from the Monroe Police Department, Matthew Sirk, Olivia Roman, David Simpson, and Jamie DeMera. next survivor is Miss Phyllis Rory. She would like to get up and say something.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I've had 4 heart attacks since June of 2001, but I had my cardiac arrest July the 5th of last year. My heart quit for 24 minutes. And I don't know which of you guys may have been there, but all I can say is thank you. The Lord has a job that He wants me to do. I just don't know what it is yet. But I thank you. I've been in and out of the hospital. When I did my taxes, I saw that I paid 6 ambulance bills last year, and the year before. Well, last year, 6. That hurt. That was expensive. But the Lord has kept me here to do something. I go to Sandy Ridge Baptist Church, and I try to be there every Sunday. We don't have any grandchildren, but we've adopted 39 little children that we do goodie bags for all the time. And then their parents told me they wanted goodie bags. So I have about 80 parents that are getting goodie bags too. But I thank you for what you do. You have a life choice that is important to the world. And I thank you very, very much.
And from the Sandy Ridge Fire Department was Mike Lathan, Samantha Beetler, Daniel Beetler, Eric Wheeler, and Jonathan Sheldon. We're so glad you're here too, Miss Rory.
It's a privilege. The Lord loves me.
Our next survivor is Gail Gainey. That crew consisted of Chris Burlicue and Amy Harrell. Supervisor Marty Parker. Representing Monroe Fire was Travis Stegall. Brandon Cleary, San Antonio Cunningham, Adam Rory, Ben Henson, Joey Deese, and Michael Nadranka. Looking good there, Chief. Our next survivor is Michael Arndt.
I just want to say, looking at this group, I'm very thankful for you. I have 6 children. Charlotte's my oldest. 4 of them drive, one getting ready to, and one not yet. But no matter if I was taking them to a practice or for piano or soccer or baseball, an ambulance or a fire truck would go by and I'd pull over and they say, "Dad, we're going to be late for practice." And I said, you know, they need to get where they're going. They're going to help somebody. And I hope when it's my turn that they get out of the way. My turn was last August. And I really appreciate the help and the dedication you guys show.
And on Michael's EMS crew was Scott Creighton and Tiffany Joplin. And from Wesley Chapel Fire Department, Brady Bannock, Andre Roberts, Thomas Simpson, and Shauna Smith. Our next survivor is Vincent DiMaggio Jr. That EMS crew consisted of Brian Honeycutt and Camille Owens. Supervisor Marty Parker. And receiving certificates from CCOM, Taylor Knight and Kimberly Porter. From the Stallings Fire Department, David Carcion, Daniel Huchin, Elian Paniagua, and Kevin Starnes. From the Stallings Police Department, Dale Larson, John LaFour, and Justin Hulse.
Hey, Kim.
Go Kim!
Thank you for representing that life saved. Our next survivor is Linda Carroll. Her EMS crew consists of Taylor Rain and Alexis Dubiel. Supervisor was Tiffany Starr. Assisting from the Wingate Fire Department, Daniel Howard, Courtney Shuck, Benjamin Stegall, Blair Stegall, and Casey Zombrowski. From the Union County Sheriff's Office, Kyle Ice and Aaron Wilkerson. Our next survivor is Dwight Hinton III. His EMS crew consisted of Taylor Rain and Alexis Dubiel. And Supervisor Christo Fitzpatrick. Receiving certificates from CCOM, Jennifer Brantley, Megan Garcia, Sarah Cashman, and Melissa Baldwin. I do have that Baker's Fire Department responded to that, but I don't have the names, if anyone's here from Baker's. All right, in Union County Sheriff's Office, David Daigle, Taylor Hackney, Jody Rutledge, and Jennifer Antonucci. And our last survivor is Catherine Fuss. Her EMS crew consisted of Brandy Mitchell and Jenna Hodge. Supervisor Marina Schwartz. And from CCOM, receiving a pin, Madison Roth. And a certificate for Melissa Baldwin. And from the Griffith Road Fire Department, Dale Loberger, Michael Ryan, Jamie Akoff, and Todd Akoff. And from the Sheriff's Office, Miriam Peralta.
Ms. Fuss, you can just stay right there. Before we all scatter for the evening, first of all, I just want to say we need a few photo ops. So if we can get all of our cardiac arrest survivors to join Ms. Fuss for a photo. I would like to thank all of you for coming out and sharing in this wonderful evening with us. It has been a pleasure to have all of you here and to see all of the cardiac arrest survivors that were able to be here and their family members. We really appreciate it. That is all we have for the evening. I do have a couple of things before everyone goes. Number one, I need all of the EMS people and the juniors to report to the front for photos before you leave. Also, we have plenty of leftover food and we have some to-go containers. So if anyone would like to take to-go plates with them, please go and help yourselves. We welcome you to do so. And do you guys want to do any other photo ops or anything?
If your department would like any professional pictures taken, we have the photographer for a little bit, so now is the opportunity to do so. So we invite you to do that.
And also, if any of the cardiac arrest survivors would like to stay and mingle with your folks that were there for your cardiac arrest, I welcome you to definitely stay. This is literally the time for you guys to mingle, talk to each other, whatever you would like to do with the time that's left. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much. And y'all have a good evening. Be safe going home.
But I'm thinking my name changed. I think I was going to use my name.